show. Always Irish show. Always Irish show. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. What are you doing? Don't do this to me, Harry! The Ohio State. It's Ohio State! What do you mean, the? It's a poison. I almost stroked out and died over it. I'm glad to be at the party. I'm mad we're this late. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. That helps the defense without them even doing a damn thing. Doing a damn thing. The call-in line. 312-988-15. You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Irish. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Welcome in, welcome back, folks. It's Saturday Night Live. Who knows what you're going to get? Oh, it's just good to be back on the Saturday night routine. You never know what you're going to get. By the way, scary group in the chat. We got all the regulars. It's good to see. It's a little pre-blue and gold meet 420 meeting, if you will. By the way, Mark, I know you're in here, Mark. Oh, crazy boy. I'm hammered again, Johnny. Although, you know what I got to ask? I just got to ask. Bro, if I'm on a Saturday night or something, I'm trying to talk to some ladies or whatever, and I'm getting a buzz and I'm drinking and everything, one of the last things I might think to do is to turn me on in the middle of that project. Like, I don't know. I love that you're here. I want you to be here. I'm just saying it's funny when people are like, oh, I'm drinking on a Saturday night. I'm thinking you're out hitting the town, not pulling up me on your big screen. Woof. Oh, we're going to have fun tonight. We're going to have fun tonight. Drunk? I don't care what. That's a funny comment, drunk, but I don't care what it is. As long as this offense looks more electric and can deliver against the better teams, I don't care. We got a couple phone calls. We're going to go to them right away. The Florida stories, you're going to get them. You're going to get them. I feel now I got pressure. Now I got this pressure. When the Florida thing started, it was the day I get back from Florida. I got two dumb stories of things that would only happen to John. I want to go over for Florida. And then we got busy, and then it turned into Wednesday, Friday. We get into the football stuff, and I never got to my dumb stories. So now people are like, you got to pay it off tonight, and it's got to be good. I don't know if they're good or not. We'll go over them, though. I don't know how good they are, but it's things that would only happen to John. Things that would only happen to me. Also, somebody keep me posted in the chat as far as the basketball game. It's not, I don't have a horse in the fight. I don't gamble on it, whatever. But I would like to know what's going on, so feel free to go ahead and do that. Oh, boy. Here we go. Jerry Reinsdorf's burner's back. John, why do you hate me? All I've done is bring up 6 NBA championships and a World Series. Unlike Kelly, I fill up the trophy case. Jerry, that's a pretty good answer, to be honest with you. Like, I'm mad. I want to be mad at you. That's a pretty good answer. What have you done for me lately, though? What have you done for me lately, though? Ooh. That's interesting. Stop pump faking. Denbrock without Ritter and Daniels is ranked in the 40s and 50s. Check it out yourself. Very interesting to look at that. And that's one of the arguments the LSU people have been using is you can bring Denbrock back to South Bend, but he's not bringing that talent with. Are those high-level results going to translate when he doesn't have that LSU talent? And again, we got to find out. And you got to hope his 40 years or 30 years, whatever it is of experience, will enable him to come look at Notre Dame's talent and be able to make it work. It isn't just having a concept of what you want to do. It's being able to get the most you can out of what you have. Tommy Rees, I have no doubt he had the best drawn up plans in the world, but if Notre Dame guys couldn't execute them, and obviously they couldn't, you're going to be limited. And if you can't adjust to find ways to make it work, you're in a bad spot. I don't know. All right. Let's get through the introductions. We'll do the phone calls. Then I'll do my stories to make sure those are done. I sent Pat the link. He's probably in Indiana at his parents' place on that lake drinking beer or at some bar in the middle of the sticks. Who knows where he's at? I have no idea. Oh, man. The Brian Kelly jet ski thing it's amazing. It's amazing. You know what I got to say? I'm a little jealous. Stop pump faking. You're an LSU guy. I'm a little jealous. Jet ski Brian Kelly might be my favorite Brian Kelly. Think about it. You had angry purple face Brian Kelly. We went through all that. Then you had BK Homeboy, which was that was a fun phase. The throwing up deuces, BK Homeboy. Then the CEO we got at the end was just kind of nothing. Jet ski Brian Kelly sounds like the most fun one. I don't know. It's just so funny to me. It really is. And then those rappers are there. Was it just some rapper was there? Something Travis Scott? I don't know. But it's so funny to me because Kelly has no idea who these people are. And they pull him aside and go, okay, here's who this guy is. Play along with it. Act like you're cool and you love hip hop. That guy's amazing. Oh my gosh. Jay Carr. Did you see that from my Twitter? Sunbowl BK with the boots that's pretty good. I have that photo framed, like still shotted in my folder. So when I'm on Twitter and something applies, it had to be early, maybe Kelly's first year. Now, I don't know when it had to be early because he looks young. And he's leaning up at the Alamo Bowl or whatever in his weird jeans and my dead grandpa's Notre Dame sweater. And he's leaning one foot up on the ledge at the hotel, showing off his cowboy boots. Yeehaw! Wayne in Texas. The latest accent. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. It just makes it funny. Yeah, Mark, he tries way too hard. Oh, man. Oh, that's so funny. All right, let's do the introduction. I'm going to get to the callers here, and we'll go from there. So thank you for being here. Obviously, hit subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps me out as well. Notifications on why. That way you alerted every time a new episode drops. I know you don't want to miss it. Twitter, search bar Always Irish or at Always Irish Inc. Emails alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only, anywhere you want it, you can get it. If you don't want to see my face, I certainly don't blame you. The call-in lines, 312-988-15, dialed up. Tell Uncle Johnny all you've heard and seen. Instagram, Facebook. Check us out there at Always Irish Inc. USA Today, Irish Wire. Read all about it. Patreon.com/Always Irish. Former captain, leading tackler Mike Goolsby, and myself breaking it all down. You know my sponsor by now, and you know why it's close to my heart. The ND Subway Alumni.com group. Very special stuff they offer. They want to cater to the Notre Dame Subway alums. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Good guys. Like I told you, I'd never work with people I didn't trust and know they were going to treat my people fairly when they're doing business. That's just the way it is. Drunk Vigo. Johnny, you love Grandpa Old Men, bro. I mean, does Dr. John count? I love him. I'm not going to lie about that. Dr. John's my homie. By the way, before I get to these calls, here's the other thing. This blue and gold thing's going to be fun. This is going to be fun. We got a lot of people now that were like, we usually don't go to the blue and gold game, but you guys are having a party. We're going to go. We're going to have ourselves a day. And my dad jinxed it. He's in here. Good to see you, Pops. Always Irish Senior. He's like, I'm looking at the extended radar. Everything looks good, man. I trust nothing with South Bend weather. And I think he probably just jinxed it by saying that it was going to be nice out. Oh, no. Right when I said something about Dr. John, here he is. Callers coming right up. Tony, you're my main man first. You know that. You're batting lead off, Tony. checking in late with my custom tequila Japolino juice cocktail. Now christened the alien in honor of Always Irish at Night. After Dark didn't lend itself to an acronym. Dr. John, you are the international man of mystery. I am convinced you are the original playa from the Himalaya. Like, dude, you are that most interesting man in the world. Remember those commercials? I got a feeling that's Dr. John. Always moving around, always in a different spot. I love it. Oh, boy. Oh, thanks a lot, Homer, for the $20 holler. I appreciate that very much. Dr. John is a doctor and thinks mixing alcohol and Japolinos is safe. That's crazy. Hey, when you're Dr. John, you can do whatever you want. $5 holler from Chris Totten. By the way, Chris, just before I logged on to fire things up for the night, I did see your email. I'll get back to you with some details on that. I think I could help you out. And I appreciate you coming to me for something like that. I have some ideas for you regarding what you messaged me. How much do I need to donate for Florida stories right now? Phil, you donate your friendship and you donate bringing your family around me in public. That's what you donate, Phil. And God bless you for it. All right. We're going to do a couple calls first. I want to balance things out. The first couple calls, then we'll do Florida stories and the chats. I highlighted a couple chats that I think are interesting. Jay, good to see you here, Jay. Jay Lehman's one of the nicest guys I've ever talked to. You ever meet somebody and you're just like, man, that guy's a lot nicer than I am. That's Jay Lehman. Like, I don't even know how to say it. You ever meet, I think I hate everybody, but I'm like nice at the same time deep down, but I have like these petty hatreds towards football or sports stuff. You ever meet somebody and you're just like, damn, that guy's a lot nicer than I am. That's Jay Lehman. He's just the most helpful, fair, well thought out person I know. He's a good guy to have around. It keeps me on the rails. What this says, I thought John was losing his hair. WTF? Does it look like it grew back? I don't know. Maybe I went like that. I don't know. Commander Luke, I'm that type of guy too, John. We're alike. Oh, I thought you meant you're the type of guy like Jay Lehman. I don't think that's true. You mean you're like me. That's what you're talking about. Dude, I can assure you my hair's not growing back at a fast enough rate to make up for almost 12 years of living with Brian Kelly. However, maybe I just combed it over on the top, on the salami patch on top. I don't know. Oh, $5 holler from Phil. Thank you very much. Phil, I'd rather you give me no money, but your wife delivers that bottle in a couple weeks. That could be your tax. You don't have to give me no money here. Just seeing your little wife walk up in that parking lot, a big smile on her face with that bottle of liquor that's taller than she is, makes my Irish heart flutter. Let me tell you that. What? John taking super chat money to Turkey for air trips. But what do I have to go to Turkey for it for? Is Turkey known for wigs or what? Why do I need to go to Turkey? That just seems like such a random place. Oh, look at this. Pilney. That's what I'm talking about, buddy. Just bought the Frank Leahy ND book you showed on your podcast. That is beautiful. And mine still got the library card in it. It came from the Carnegie Public Library in Akron, Indiana. That's where this came from. I don't know how somebody ain't getting that book back. And I know I'm not getting out. Yes, Turkey's known for air transplants. Man, maybe I need to take a trip over there. All right. Phone calls 570. What do you know? What's going on, Tony? We'll see you in a couple weeks, buddy.
Man, I can't wait. I can't wait for the spring game tailgate. I'm looking forward to it. And I hope everybody else is willing to come and enjoy, and nothing like a spring game.
Yeah, Tony, it's really relaxing for me. It's a rare opportunity once a year to be able to go to Notre Dame, watch some Notre Dame football, and not have the normal level of stress and like borderline stroke blood pressure readings that I have. It's really a joy. It's relaxing to be able to just enjoy the football. You know, there's no way we're going to lose. And you like, it's a relaxing little stop before the long trudge that's going to be summer.
Yes, we win and we win. Doesn't matter. We win.
Yep. The only way we don't win the blue and gold game is if a bunch of guys get hurt. That's really it. Like
yeah.
Other than that. And then Tony, here's the other thing I battled my whole life. And I remember being a little kid going to the blue and gold game. You know, that's a good thing to bring kids to. It's affordable. You can move around a little bit. It's a lot easier to bring little kids to that game. And I just remember like we'd be driving home and I'd be thinking, okay, I liked what I saw to some of the offense. Does that mean the defense is terrible? And then other times you're like, I liked what I saw to the defense. Is our offense terrible? So it's really a unique challenge to try and play with your mind to figure out what the realities are when you're looking at it. It's really an interesting time.
Yeah. And hey, I want to say hello to our always Irish senior. Can't wait to see him again. And I have a shotski. I have a loose ski.
Oh yeah.
And I'm bringing it to the game.
Ooh, you know what?
And,
you know what, Tony? Tony, we might need that fireball for some of that. I don't know. I know that Erica's going to bring some of that, or we could get a lot of things cooking in that loose ski.
I'm going to get a handle of a fireball. I'm going to get some shot glasses, and well, when you buy the loose ski, you get 4 glass shot glasses. But I'm going to bring some plastic ones, and here's an idea for you, Johnny. And you know, I know you're not looking to make money, but hey, if somebody wants to drink off the shotski, give $1 for the expense of the tailgate, and everybody has a good time.
There you go, Tony. I like this. I'm gonna start calling you Toll Booth Tony. I like the idea, man. I like the idea there. That's a good one. Man, it's gonna be really fun though. And the cool thing is, man, the group keeps growing. We keep meeting more and more fun people, and then they join, and then everybody knows everybody, and more people join. That's the idea of all this. That's what I wanted to do with all this. Like, I wanted to be a place where everybody could just hang out, and it's turned into that. So I'm really excited. I just hope that weather holds out.
It's looking good so far. Is Mother Always Irish going to have name tags so we can write our handle on there, we all get to know each other?
We might do that again. And then the good news on top of that, last night my brother surprised me and sent me his flight information. So I was just down in Florida to visit him. He's going to fly back to make sure he's here for that too. So we'll have the whole Kennedy family will be around.
Nothing better than the family. I met them all at the tailgate last fall, and enjoyed the hell out of it. We had a golf tournament back in Pennsylvania for the Notre Dame club, and I've offered my loose ski, and they're going to use the loose ski at one of the holes, and everybody can hammer down a Tullamore Dew or whatever they want.
That's great.
Make some money for the local club.
Oh, that's great. What a good idea. So I'm excited, Tony, and we're gonna watch some ball. I just think when I think about this spring, I think there's a lot of excitement about this offense. And I just want to hold myself back from getting too excited. But everybody has good things to say about how it looks different. And there seems to be just more going on the offensive side of the ball. That's where a lot of my mind's going, but I don't want to expect too much. But it sounds like inside the building, Notre Dame is expecting to have a more potent, exciting offense. And I am here for that. It has been so long. I'm here for it. I'm
with you 100%. And with the addition of not only the players, but also the coaching staff, I think we're going to see something different. And I'm looking forward to it as much as you are. And there's no doubt in my mind that Coach Denbrock is going to bring a different type of attitude and a different type of knowledge and be able to, as you like to say, pivot.
Yeah.
He's going to pivot.
Vision. Vision,
there's no
Tony.
doubt in my mind the pivots will be made.
I just think he's got a different vision. He's been around the block. He could look at the talent, have an idea of what he can do with it, and know where the stay between the lines, not underdo it, but not overdo it. I just feel like Denbrock's going to have a better feel for all of this to put our guys in a position to be more successful, find creative matchups, set up things. And then the downstream effect of that is it should all make Freeman a better head coach, because the more Denbrock and Golden can take off his plate, the more it frees him up. So I'm really thinking this is the kind of support that'll help him get to the next level in his coaching arc development. And I have high expectations. Notre Dame's got to have a really good year, pull it all together.
Why should we not? Oh, by the way, Johnny, 28-25 UConn with 8 minutes left in the first half.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm watching and drinking a couple of Yingling Lights here, and all's good. By the way, I would appreciate, I'm bringing my Lewski, and I would appreciate if we can christen that Lewski. And if Pat, where the hell is Pat, by the way?
He's in Indiana. He's probably being chased by the Indiana authorities by now. He was out at somewhere with the family at the cabin in the woods by the lake. Who knows where he is? I sent him the link. He'll jump on eventually, maybe.
I would love to christen the Lewski with you, Goolsby, and Pat for the first round of the Lewski.
I like that a lot. Tony. I appreciate the thoughts you put into the Lewski, my friend. This is a beautiful, beautiful thing. I do appreciate it, man. Oh, that's great. And I know you had a good Easter, Tony. I'm glad you were able to be with the family. Everybody was able to unwind, to be together. I know you got a big group. I'm glad you guys were able to have that time.
Well, it was 16 people at the table. I had a call to the other end to pass the beans.
Yeah, you got a big group there, man. But I'm glad you were all able to get together.
It was wonderful, and I shared some with you offline, and all is good. And looking forward to the spring game. And oh, by the way, I thought the morning shows this week were amazing.
Tony, they had a different energy. It's weird. There's these energy ebbs and flows with the morning show. And when you're in the season, it's more reliable because there's games and everybody's brain is in full football mode. In the season, it's different. Off season, sometimes you'll hit a few weeks where it's just kind of not low energy no matter what I do. This week it perked back up. Friday was a riot. Friday had me laughing. I don't know what happened. Everybody got into it. It was just, it's funny to see the cycle of energy with these things.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's going to be the run up to the season is going to be crazy. The run up to the spring game is shortly upon us, and all's looking up. And I can't wait to see you, John. I can't wait to see Pat. I can't wait to see Goolsby. And oh, by the way, I have 2 Lewskis because the first one they sent me got destroyed by the U.S. Postal Service.
I like that.
It's been repaired. It's been repaired, but it doesn't look real good. But
well, at least they made
we'll be
you
there,
whole
and
again.
we can't wait to see you, John.
All right. It'll be beautiful, man. I'll text you with some more details when we get closer of it, some extra stuff for you. So I'll be in touch, okay?
Well, Johnny, thank you. I appreciate that, and I want you to know that when I tailgate for the games, the lady who I tailgate with is right in front of the Leahy statue, and that's where her spot has been. Her family has been there for years, so hopefully we'll be adjacent not only to her but to you also. And man, I've shared the word with my friends who are Notre Damers, and we're looking forward to being there.
Man, it's going to be great. Can't wait to see you. Safe travels, and I'll talk to you before then about the plan.
All right, brother. Thank you. Love you.
Have a good one. Thank you very much. Nicest guy in the world. One of my new Notre Dame friends. Would have never met him if it wasn't for this show. Callers have been so good. I'm like, I ain't calling it in and messing it up, Mark. Mark, it's like when Mark calls, I get these messages afterwards and people are like, does he have depression? Mark, what does it take to get your blood pressure? Like, I just don't know with you, Mark. When Notre Dame wins, you're like, yeah, Notre Dame won, and then we did this. And when Notre Dame loses, you're like, yeah, I'm miserable, blah, blah, blah. But you like, your affect doesn't change. And then there's me who rides the wave, baby. I'm like a USC fan. Hang 10, bro. Like, I'm out on the waves. I'm riding every little thing. I'm not laughing about depression. I'm laughing that people think Mark has depression just because of his personality. Those are very different things, I think. Those are very different things. But every time Mark calls in, people are like, man, is that guy okay, John? Like, what he needs to get, Oh, it's just funny. Oh, man. Gosh, that's funny. Oh, Blyberg says, he caught me on the New Guys podcast from Florida. The topic was ND. Hey, good job by the both of you. Yeah, Bruce Hope, personal friend of mine. He's a Navy veteran, great guy, family man, Notre Dame guy. And he's all the way down in Florida. I think he's in like Jacksonville, and that's a tough place to be a Notre Dame guy. He does sports media and kind of getting the YouTube thing going, and I was happy to help him out. He's a good friend, good guy. Thanks for that. Appreciate you. USC fans all surf. We ain't Johnny Utah. I just think it's funny, man. It's just like all those Saturdays. It's like, do we go to the Coliseum? No, I'm gonna go catch a wave, bro. Oh my gosh. Carberry, what's the spread for the blue gold game, John? I thought he was talking about the gambling spread. I didn't know there was one for that. I'll bring a pork butt and some homemade sauce and buns if needed. We usually fry up a bunch of wieners and brats and stuff like that. Just quick and easy to be able to have 100 and something or whatever. And we're going to have a lot of beer. Anything anybody wants to bring, go for. We'll have a big spread. It'll be awesome as long as a snow tornado doesn't blow it 3 states over. Lacrosse game in the morning before the blue and gold game with Faison. The only problem is if I'm over there watching that, they're not going to let me have my Miller Lite for breakfast. That's kind of a problem. Kind of a problem. I got to do these super chats. Then I'm coming right back to the calls. And then I'll do the chat, the Florida stuff. I missed a couple of these. Pilney 35. Thank you for the $30 holla. Jet ski swamp creature emerges. The BK excuse machine continues in Louisiana. Winning is hard. Oh, God. Philly with the $5 holler. $20 holler. This is a treat. Every time I watch you, I feel like I'm in Old Town at a Second City ND show. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I just trying to entertain the people. 35 again from Pilney. Thank you, my friend. The Brady Art recruitment tells me Notre Dame has always been a sleeping giant. If it would just believe in itself more. ND can recruit without limits if we just have competent coaches, which we finally do. All through the Kelly era, you knew there was more meat on that bone. There was always more meat on that bone. Look at this. What? Unmute yourself, clown.
I didn't know I was on mute.
Is this your first time? What's up?
No, what are you doing?
Talking to the people. Well, you know what I'm doing. Oh, look at you,
nice.
Fresh off a haircut. I know a cotter fresh off a haircut when I see one, buddy.
Yeah, nice and shaved the way I like
that. Ooh, I like that. You get the. I like that, Pat. You got the you get no. I like that. You got the full Eddie Munster going. I like it. Looks good on you.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Everybody say it back, got an haircut. Oh man,
I did.
Jay Carr says he's 7 beers deep. I could see it in his face. Is this accurate?
7's a little much. Maybe 6.
Oh man. Oh, Pat. I don't want to keep you all night. I don't know what your plans are over there. What are your parents doing? Are they partying or what?
Oh, I don't know. Mom's watching TV. Dad's watching basketball. I don't know. They're all chilling.
That sounds exciting. What do you want to do? Take a couple calls, then me and you chat for a little bit, or what?
Yeah, do what you're gonna do.
All right. I don't want to make the people wait. And then, Pat, I got to deliver these Florida stories. I got 2 stupid Florida stories that would only happen to me, and I didn't get through them yet. Now, people, I got to deliver something good now.
Okay. Do it.
We got to hope these things, they come through. 703, you're talking to me. What's going on?
I'm really fired up about the wide receivers. I've been let down before, but I feel like this is the year.
Oh, no. Are you going to believe it? It's the big hype all spring. I've heard it's going to be different this time. We got real speed. These guys can get open. Are you going to believe it? It's one of the biggest narratives I've heard is how much better people feel about that group. Are you going to believe it before you see it?
Well, I'm believing it because we got an actual good coach. Like, we don't have Dell. We don't have Stuckey. We have Mike Brown, like a proven winner. And we have guys that with speed that can break away, like Mitchell. And, like, I'm hearing Greathouse is being the best wide receiver of the group. Harrison has so much speed.
Okay, now let me ask, are you confident that whoever the quarterback's going to be, that they could get those people the ball the way they need to? Because even if Riley Leonard's healthy, one of his strong points has not been arm and accuracy down the field. Are you confident that this work?
I mean, like, I saw him beating Florida State with Duke. Like, if he can get it done with Duke, I believe he can get it done with Notre.
Yeah, it's just, listen, man, I've been through this so many times, so many springs, that I'm hesitant to buy in, but I will admit this, it's going to be better. That group's getting deeper and more athletic and faster. It is going to be a better unit. I'm 100% sure about that. To what extent? That's where I don't know the answer to. They're going to be better. I just don't know how much better. That's where I'm getting hung up. And I think that's a fair position for me to be in as a guy who's gotten burned by this for like 20 years. So I think it's going to be better. I just don't know how much better. Is it going to be enough?
Mm-hmm. And also, like, we got Dealin's running back room. We're gonna use Love as a receiver. We're gonna use JD Price. I think and the tight ends with Mitchell Evans.
You got a little. Are you feeling a little Percy Harvin there with Love? A little bit of that usage. I'm here for it. If you could just find, if you identify a guy like that you just need to get him the ball, and then let his natural God-given gifts cook. I'm here for that. If you want to find a role like that for him, that's what we were asking for last year. Is this offense is stuck in the mud? Find a way to get these guys that can make plays the ball and let them do it. And they didn't do a good enough job. If this is an attempt to remedy that, I'm all for it.
I mean, that's what I've heard through message boards and stuff. That's what Denbrock's trying to do with him.
Yeah, and I'm all for that. And the other thing that tells me they love everything else they got in the running back room too. I've been hearing JD Price has his burst back. I feel like last year he was back, but not 100% peak healthy. I'm hearing from people in the building, they think that boost is back, and that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I just feel like I don't know. I'm really excited about the offense. Like the defense is going to be as good as last year, but like if the offense can take a step forward in the big games,
Yeah, it's a big
like
deal.
if we can put up at least like 38 against A&M, I think we'll be good.
Man, if they put up 38 against A&M, we're winning that ball game easy because our defense is not. A catastrophe would have to happen for our defense to give up that amount of points to them in week 1. I need a more effective plan for these big game moments. And you need an offense that can actually operate against these good teams, stay on the field, eat up some clock, move the ball. Like, although I guess Notre Dame moved the ball against Ohio State. They just didn't score a lot. They actually moved up and down the field better than I thought they would in that game. They just didn't take advantage of those opportunities. So I don't know, man, but this roster is a good blend of some upperclassmen guys you rely on and some young athletic dudes. That's a blend that I like and that I could get comfortable with. I'm excited to see it.
And I'm excited to see Kenny Minchie in the spring game. I'm kind of rooting for him. He's like forgotten quarterback, and so I'm hoping he really does well in the spring game.
Yeah, it's Derek saying, I'm sure the 6'4" athletic guy can't throw the ball deep. I'm just going off the stats so far of what he's done. Now, I understand Duke doesn't have the best talent in the offensive line and all that. I'm just saying one of his strong suits, if you're looking at the guy, isn't the big arm accuracy part. I'm just asking. I want it to work. And I mean, that guy was a basketball player until a couple years ago. Football wasn't even on the radar. He was going to go to Duke and play basketball. So hell of an athlete. And then we see what's going on.
Well, I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited for the spring game. I'm excited about the lacrosse team. I'm a huge fan of the lacrosse team. Playing Duke tomorrow. Really hoping lacrosse that the Kavanaughs and face on the guys can get it done. So
Telling you,
excited for that game tomorrow,
dude. The best
for the spring game.
Listen, that lacrosse stuff. To me, lacrosse has always been a Northeast rich person sport that I don't fully understand. Like, I don't understand the old lacrosse. Like, I just picture like Northeast money, suburban money when I picture lacrosse. The coolest thing Notre Dame does for that is the bagpipes coming out on the field. That's amazing. I love that.
Oh, yeah. It's awesome. I went to the Final Four back in 2015. I had my heart broken. To see them when it last year was so special. I was getting super emotional about it.
Oh man, just imagine if it was football and not. And I don't want to rip on it, but I'm sorry, man. Like, it gets frustrating when I'm sitting in the football stadium and we're going to bring out our championship team and it's always fencing or something. Like, I just want it to be football just once. Are you going to be able to make it to the blue and gold game? Or are you out in Virginia?
No, I want to try to. I don't have the money to. I'm an East Coaster, so I don't have the money right now to travel. But like in the next year, couple years, I would like to make it down there for.
Yeah, it would be.
Sure.
Yeah, it'd be fun, man. And the good thing is everything's pretty affordable that weekend at Notre Dame. You know, the tickets are like $10. It's just nice. So yeah, it'll be fun, man. But yeah, there's a lot to look for this blue and gold game. We will see. We'll see how it goes, man. Thanks for the call on a Saturday night. And I got you on the record believing in that wide receiver, but we'll see how it goes. I'm putting you down. I hope they don't let you down. I want to believe too, man. I want to believe too. If they could get behind Texas A&M 2 or 3 times week 1, I'm right there with you. I want to believe, but I need a reason.
All right. Thanks so much, Sean. Have a great night.
Have a good one, buddy. Thank you for the call. Have a good weekend. Pat, people think you're too quiet. It's making them awkward.
Well, I don't have my microphone, so it's hard to hear. I'm sure it's hard to hear me for the people on the phone.
Yeah, I can hear you. It's probably harder for them.
Yeah, so that's all. That's all it is. I'm just here hanging out, just chilling. I got nothing else going on.
Where's the wife and the kids? Are they there or are they back in Illinois?
No, they're here. They're all here. There's a kid doing cartwheels behind me right now.
Well, that's athletic of her. That's beautiful.
Yeah, they're just doing stuff. I don't know what they're doing.
Johnny, would you be a better lacrosse or fencer? My thought is probably a fencer. I'm pretty skinny, bro. You could be stabbing me and I'll just move and you'll miss. I feel like I could, if I fenced, I could move around a lot since I'm so skinny. Also, man, that's a lot of running in lacrosse, isn't it? It's like soccer. I always thought soccer was just too much running, bro. I ain't trying to run around all day unless it's to a base, down the field, something. I can't just run to run. Pat, the camera between your legs is making people uncomfortable, says Mark with glasses for a $2 holler. Hey, Mark, just be glad it's pointing up.
Yeah, right.
Just be glad it's pointing up. Pilney with the $40 holler, hoping for a snowstorm for the spring game so Freeman could channel his inner Leahy. Leahy would practice in a South Bend blizzard, as his lads would recall. Freeman needs a courtesy copy of the good book. You know what? That guy's pretty busy, but maybe I should get him the old Frank Leahy and the Fighting Irish book. I know I could get it to him, and he could read up on Frank. See if he could whip up not losing a game in 4 years and being involved in 5 Heisman winners. 4 on your watch and recruited the 5th. It's an unbelievable record, and you add in being in the Navy and add a World War victory to your list. That is a heck of a resume. I mean,
the reason he pulled all those players was because he took them right out of the Navy.
It's brilliant, Pat.
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing.
Pat, he goes in there doing his American duty, and the whole time he's going to those guys. How much eligibility you got back if we don't get blown up? Like, what are we doing?
Exactly.
It's beautiful.
Hey, I want to go back to the Riley Leonard thing, and whether or not he's going to be sufficient for Notre Dame. When he was at Duke, he had to carry that football team. He was, Duke isn't, a deep team. So the expectation on Riley Leonard at Notre Dame is completely different than what it was at Duke. So, I'm not sold on the guy. I don't know. I'm not going to call him the savior, but I think he just needs to be good enough to win. And there's so much talent from the running back room to the tight end room to the wide receiver room. There's prospects with the offensive line. There's so much talent with this Notre Dame team that you don't need Riley Leonard to win the Heisman Trophy to win a national championship. I don't think.
Yeah. And there is something to be said for, he didn't have great guys to throw to, and their offensive line was not good. I mean, and I know we have questions about ours, but they're not known for that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all different.
I'm not of all the questions that I have going, it's not that the quarterback room is not a question for me. I think Notre Dame has probably 3 kids that could run the offense tomorrow. So it's going to be Leonard. I'm not trying to say that it should be Angeli or Minchie. It's going to be Leonard. Yeah. But that's the least of my concerns as it comes to this football team.
Interesting. All right, let's go back to the lines. 574 and then 360. You said you had a couple questions for the group. We'll bring you up as well. And 574, what's going on? Local to South Bend, Indiana. What's going on?
Hi, John. I'm back.
What's going on? Yeah, it's been a while. What's up?
How's it going? I mean, I'm excited for the spring game.
It's going to be a fun time. Do you have any usher duties for the spring game too, or what's your setup going to be like?
Well, I don't know my report time exactly off the top of my head, but I don't have to be there until an hour before kickoff. But I work in the upper deck, so I'm assuming I just get to watch the game, but I don't know. They might move me down. I'm not sure what they'll do.
Interesting. Yeah, I always go for that upper deck in the blue and gold game. Get myself a whole section to pace around. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. What do you make of spring practice so far? What's on your mind? Any big picture takeaways? What are you thinking and feeling?
Well, I think they're trying to push Leonard back. So I think he is going to start against Texas A&M. But again, it's hard to say because to me, the spring game is kind of a crapshoot. I mean, the coaches know what they're going to have starting the regular season. They're just trying to make sure they have it locked that they have the right guys starting the team. So they're just trying to have that circle that name, basically saying, "Hey, we know who's going to start."
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I don't know. I have some anxiety about this offense. I want to buy into it. I want to believe. I want to believe in Denbrock. I want to believe in some of this more athletic talent. It's just, I just want to see it before I can believe in it. And Texas A&M is going to it's a huge opportunity to show it all off.
I mean, it's like I said in the beginning of the year. I mean, this is no time to wait. Game one, there's no places in these playing in primetime now. Now, I'm not sure what time the game is, but they got to turn the heat up in the indoor training facility because it's going to be very hot in Texas. It's going to be 100 degrees for that game.
Yeah, man, how do you prepare for that? It's hot and humid in August. You're going to be running around out there, but it's different when you're in a game environment. If you want to make the argument that Texas's heat is going to be different than Indiana's heat, it's going to be a real factor, even though it's probably going to be a night game. You got to be ready and you got to be fit and you can't be dragging ass. You got to be ready to go.
I mean, the fact that it's a night game is not even given. Don't you know about the Mercedes-Benz game they have in Atlanta? So we don't know what ESPN and all those weirdos over there are going to schedule for that.
Oh, they are weirdos. That's for sure. They're definitely weirdos. There's no doubt about that one. They're definitely weirdos. So are you going to have time to come by the tailgate on your way to work that day or what? We'll be out there in front of Frank.
I'll be there no matter what. I mean, I'm going to have a fun day that day because I'm going to work the game, and then I'm going to the All-American Rejects concert at 4-1 Field, which is in downtown.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. It's dangerous for you, though. They see you in your uniform conversing with me. They might take your job credentials away. You got to be careful, my friend.
I know, for sure.
I'll try and be on my best behavior. We won't cause any undue trouble. Anything else around campus we should know about or anybody else should know about when they're coming into town in a couple weeks? You got the inside scoop.
I mean, it's hard to choose between, but I would personally go to a tailgate because Notre Dame could beat North Carolina by 10 goals if they play the right way.
Yeah, I wish I could get more emotionally into all the other sports. I don't have it in me. I'll be dead. There's just no way I could do it if I lived and died with all of this. I'd pass away. My body can't handle the stress. The football is hard enough. Pat, everybody thinks you're upset. If Pat's sitting there, no people think there's something wrong with him now when he just sits there and minds his own business. Unbelievable.
I mean, I understand people who don't get emotionally invested in the other sports. I mean, come on. But even I know football is the sport that makes the whole engine work. I mean, you have 80,000 people for a football game, and you only have 500 for lacrosse. I know football makes way more money.
Yeah. And then, hey, that reminds me, did you hear what the new athletic director said about football success being in the DNA of Notre Dame? And every year you don't win a title, it rips at his soul. Have you heard a lot of his initial media tour? I like what he's saying.
I mean, if that's what he said, that's a very good thing for an athletic director to say. But the ultimate answer to that question is talk is very cheap. Yeah.
Yep. Nope. You're right about that. So I don't know. It's going to be, I'm excited to see how the rest of this spring goes. The blue and gold game is going to be really, really interesting. A lot of different guys are going to get a lot of run, and I'm excited to see how everybody does. I want to see these young freshmen go play and earn a role. There's a lot to look at and a lot to like.
I mean, there's a lot of good things that could happen in the future. I'm just more worried about the game in College Station right now more than the spring game. I just hope everyone stays healthy in the spring And then when we get to like the last couple of weeks of the first couple of weeks of August, then we can start really thinking about who's going to start for the last season because they'll start making all those announcements.
Yeah, it's not ideal right now. Think about it. Riley Leonard's limping around. Morrison's going to be out a while. And Evans is out. That's like 3 of your dudes that are supposed to be your main dudes, and they're all out. Like it's not ideal, but you just hope they're mostly back in one piece by August. And I got news for people. I don't think Evans is going to be. So just because of the timing of that injury. So I don't know. But we're going to have to see how it goes. We still have some time.
The whole Evans injury thing.
Yeah.
The whole Evans injury thing was a fiasco to begin with.
Yep.
I mean, we were way up in that game against Pittsburgh. I was standing in the upper deck, and I saw him got injured, and I'm like, this is a nightmare because, let's be honest, we were probably out of the playoff picture. I mean, you don't want to, at that point, just pick all your starters out because we're trying to rebuild for next year.
Yeah, shouldn't have been out there. It was a mistake. Really unfortunate. And they're paying a price for that. So we'll see what happens, my friend. I'm excited to see you here in a couple weeks. Behave yourself in South Bend the rest of the weekend, all right?
Yeah, I'm excited to see you in South Bend. I won't be able to party at the tailgate, but I know I'm going to party at that concert tonight, so I'll probably raise a beer for you guys.
There you go. Raise that beer, my friend. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Have a good weekend.
God bless everyone. Have a good night.
Take care. Pat, I'm telling you what, these callers are too nice. Everybody ends with like, God bless. And like, we got some nice people around here. What the hell's going on?
You know, whatever happened to the, like, when you and I say goodbye to each other, it's like, go after yourself.
Yeah. I know. Right back at you. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, right. Now everybody's so nice to you. It really throws me off when people are nice to you because you just don't deserve it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's a very fair way to put it. And you know way more than most people do about the way I see the world and people and things too. So you're not wrong.
That's very, very true. Very true.
I'm like a not nice guy who's a nice guy. I don't know how else to put it. Like,
so you're talking about the new Bavacqua and some of his comments. I was actually more into some of the comments about the incoming president. Now, he didn't go full bore like Bavacqua did, but he was saying some things about, I recognize the DNA of Notre Dame is championship football. You know, something to that level. And I don't think you've heard something about Notre Dame. It's the football is in our DNA. Yeah. You haven't heard that level of commentary from the president's office in 40, 50 years since what's his name retired.
There's listen, man. Jack was just really lawyery. And I think that's just his nature and the way he presents is very guarded and lawyery and all that. And this group seems a little bit more open to let the fans know exactly where they're coming from. And it just seems a little bit more open about where they're at. And I just find some comfort in that. And I appreciate it. Mark with glasses. How much if I go streaking at the blue and gold game with an always Irish flag? I don't know whether that'd be good promo for us or bad.
Yeah, I don't know if that sits well. That's a yeah, I don't think you want that.
And I mean, if you do that, are you going to wrap it around you? Because then you just got to keep the flag and bring it home with you, but I also don't want you running out there with it. Yeah, that's kind of rough. Oh, that's kind of rough. 360, what's going on? Welcome to the show.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you doing? And hello, Irish Nation.
I'm doing very well. I'm getting ready and excited to see some Notre Dame football in a couple weeks. Even though it's spring, I'm going to be happy to see it. What's on your mind? I know you had some thoughts to share with the group.
Well, I guess first of all, I really haven't paid too much attention to like the roster and recruiting and everything, just because it feels like it's always so exhausting. And right now with transfer portal and NIL and everything, I'll wait until the spring game and see what the final product is. But I do agree with you that Marcus Freeman seems to be in a position this year where he can finally trust his coaches, and he can be what a head coach should be, which is kind of like a CEO that is just trusting his department managers to ultimately lead the game, and he just kind of oversees everything. And I think he's in a really, really good position this year.
Yeah. The best way to support a young up and coming head coach in his first stop is you put guys with experience that you trust around him. And now he has that on each side of the ball. It should really, really help with everything. Everything Freeman's trying to get going should be made easier by that competence and confidence on both sides of the ball.
Absolutely. The other reason that I wanted to call, and I kind of want to open this up to your viewers as well, is in October, I'm leveling up to the big 5-0. And as a treat to myself, I've booked a trip to Notre Dame to watch my first home game. And I'm super excited, and I've never been there. So I was just kind of wondering if people can give me an idea of must-see things that I have to do while I'm there. Please keep in mind that I'm a non-drinker, so bars are probably going to be out of the question. And I have mobility issues, so I'm not going to be hiking all over the place. But I just kind of wanted to pick everybody's brain and get some ideas of places that I need to go to.
Interesting. Here's the first thing I'll tell you. Are you going to be in both days or one day? Or is it like a Friday, Saturday thing you'll be around all weekend? What's the situation with the travel schedule?
I'm actually, I will land, I think, around 5:00 in the evening on Thursday. So I'll be there for the rest of the evening on Thursday, all day Friday, Saturday, and then I leave first thing in the morning on Sunday.
My best advice would be go to campus Friday before there's 80, 100,000 people all over campus and it's all chaotic. I would go to campus Friday, and it'll be a much more relaxing way to go see everything. Go to the bookstore without a huge line. Go do the grotto. Go do all that kind of stuff on Friday, because it'll be less busy, and that'll free you up Saturday to be able to soak in the game day stuff without having to run around and there's all those people and everything else. So that would be my idea, is to get in there Friday. One of my favorite things to do is they still do the drummer circle Friday night at late night. Do they still do that? I don't know if you're a late night guy, but the drummers come out at midnight and do right outside the dome, and they do a big thing in the middle of the night, and everybody goes crazy. People drink and come over. That's not your thing, but people drink and go over there and they play the drum thing, get people pumped up. And it's at midnight, the dome shining. That is always one of my favorite things to do. And that would be Friday night, late Friday night.
Right on. I'll have to check that out. Do you have any off-campus suggestions?
Not really. No, because when I go there for a game, I'm not looking to go to the bars before the game. I want to be on campus. Really, all they have is Eddy Street with a couple of bars. That's not a big attraction for me ever. No, I would keep it.
Sure.
The way I look at it is I can go to a bar anywhere. If I'm in Notre Dame, I want to do Notre Dame stuff. I can go to an Irish bar where it's not a huge deal to me. Walk around campus, soak in every quad, go to the grotto, go in the dome, go in the basilica, do all the classic stuff, and do it before there's a million people there.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll spend my Friday is doing that. And then the other question that I had, I'm going to be it's the Stanford game that I'm going to, and I've already booked the tickets and everything. Are you going to be at that game?
It probably not. We're going to do the big tailgate for Miami, Ohio. And I don't know if I'll be back for any other game. So I try and pick one early in the year and do that, and then kind of stick to the basement so I could do this show and do the post-game call-ins and all that.
Sure. Okay. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your input, and you guys have a great evening, and go Irish.
No problem, man. Hey, I'll email you back with a couple other specific things, and give you a couple little tips there. Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
sounds good.
Hey, parking. You got parking figured out?
I'm probably just gonna Uber everything, so I'm not too worried about parking. I'm not gonna rent a car or anything while I'm there.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, then that'll make getting around a little easier then. All right. Well, you're in pretty good shape, but I'll email you back with a couple little things that I enjoy personally that you should check out. Okay.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. I appreciate it, John, and you guys have a great night. Talk to you later.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Dude, I always love,
Bye.
I love when people are, I love when people go to Notre Dame for the first time, Pat, and they message me anything I need to look at or see. Like, I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's every time I go to Notre Dame, it's like a new experience. First of all, they're changing so much on that campus.
Yeah.
But then, I don't care how many times I've been to the Grotto, I have to go there. I don't care how many times I've been to the Dome, I have to go there. I like to walk through the bookstore, even if I'm not going to buy anything, just to see what they have. I like to go into the Joyce Center to see what they've done in there. I can spend, if it wasn't for your tailgate, I probably would spend more time walking around the parking lot, or not the park, but walking around the campus, checking things out. But instead I have to get really drunk with you and all the Always Irish followers.
Yeah. I'm not a bad influence. We're equal influence.
No. Hey, did you see my question? Do you think that Swabrick, now that he's no longer athletic director, he'll stop just watching the show and start calling in?
No, he just wants to sit there and be bitter and right and tell you to donate more money. No, I don't. I don't think he will, but whatever, man. Good for him in his retirement. I'm not saying the guy didn't do a lot of good things, but
he did a lot of good things for
that I didn't.
Yeah.
But Pat, the things that I don't like are big damn things.
Yeah, he didn't do the one thing you wanted.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Oh, man. Didn't Pat leave to get drunk last year? No. Pat
I didn't have to leave.
He didn't leave to get drunk. He left to get more drunk.
So, coming from the guy who sits there, runs his mouth all the time, but never shows up to anything.
Yeah.
Luke,
Exactly.
I was at Country Roads last night till 1:00 in the morning. I know you're right down the street.
Yeah. There you go, man.
Never see you in there.
Somebody says Jack aged really fast the last few years, like 60 to 80 in 4 months. Hey, man, being around Notre Dame and in one of those jobs ages you worse than being president. I'm telling you what, man, you come out of that looking like a Civil War veteran that left when they were like a teenager and came back in 5 years and they look like a 50-year-old man. Like, that's what you come back looking like. It's rough. All right, Pat, should I tell one of my dumb Florida stories everybody wanted?
Yes.
All right. Pat, this would only happen to me. Check this out. This is this is the stupidest thing of all time. It would never happen to anybody. The odds of this happening to anybody ever are 0, and it happened to me. Listen. So I'm laying there by the pool, okay? Overhang, there's no forest, there's no trees. I'm laying in a folding chair, like a reclining chair by the pool, and I got my shades on, but I'm laying there with my eyes closed, soaking it in, taking some sun in, right? Minding my own business. The pool's not busy, my kid's in it, not much else going on. Okay, whatever. Roger, worse, Roger, way worse. Commander Luke says, John won't answer any of the questions that matter. Yeah, that's because you twisted my words earlier and moved my position around and added a bunch of stuff that I'm not ruining this stream by going over. That's the answer. Yeah. Anyways, I'm not in the mood to do it tonight. I'm not in the mood to do it tonight and let him turn a fun show down a dark alley. I'm not doing it. I scrolled by your thought.
Was he hovering over you in Florida? Is that what the story is?
No. Anyways. All right. So I'm laying there, and you know how you're not sleeping, but you're like, your eyes are resting, and I have my shades on. I'm laying there in my swim trunks, Okay. All of a sudden,
all right, hold on. Can I just paint a picture for everybody?
yeah.
Have you guys ever seen a skeleton wearing swim trunks? Because that's what John looks like.
Check it out.
The skinniest man in the history I can imagine. Like, he's so
I'm putting
disgustingly
weight on.
skinny.
I'm packing on the pounds, starting to add
And
weight.
here's the thing. John has a bad back. John has
true.
a really bad back. And so it looks even worse. He looks like a 90-year-old grandmother. So it's just, oh God.
I couldn't even be a 90-year-old grandfather. I have to be a 90-year-old mother. Thanks a lot.
You're so...
That has nothing to do with this. Stop.
I don't know how you ever got laid in your life.
My personality,
Obviously.
It's my personality. Hey, I called you Eddie Munster earlier. This is all fair, okay? Like, I got to take this. All right? This is fair. No, I was not wearing a banana hammock. No.
John doesn't have the banana to fill the hammock.
It's a banana split.
All right. Finish.
All right, Pat. So I'm laying there. And hold
on, Phil, John, do you remember? Phil's your 10-foot pole? Do you remember when we were in the bar? Lucy, you got to leave the room. Do you remember when we were in the bar in college and we were standing at the urinal at what was it? Stu's?
Yeah.
Do you remember what you did?
Yeah, it was one of the most athletic things I've ever done. I peed and barfed in the urinal at the same time. It was awesome. I made it perfect. I was able to have 2 streams both hit perfect. It was amazing. You know how hard it is to maintain pee accuracy if you're Ralphing too?
You had no accuracy.
It was my 21st birthday. Give me a break, bro. Give me a break. All right, I'm getting back to the story I was telling. Okay? Out of nowhere, Pat, the weight of like a golf ball falls and hits my newts. And I don't mean Rockney. I'm laying there completely minding my own business, and boom, something hits me. Glancing blow.
It's my newts.
Glancing blow off the Sacagawea. And I'm like, boo, I get up, I pop up, and I'm like, oh my God, what is it? And you know, a glancing blow hurts sometimes more than a main blow.
That'll take you out for days.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm laying there, and out of nowhere, I feel something with a lot of velocity hit down there and bounce. Like, I can feel it hit right off. So immediately, I'm thinking, this has got to be a toy the kid threw out of the pool, and it's an aerial thing floating, and it flew over and hit me or whatever, right? So I pop up, and I'm like, oh my God, what is that? That hurts. I'm looking around. There's no people, no animals, no bugs, no nothing. I'm totally confused. It kind of hurts. I start looking around, dude. I look down. There is a half-eaten frog on the ground.
Oh, a bird dropped it?
It's the only thing it could be is a random pelican or something chewed up this swamp frog out of Florida and dropped it on my newt sack. Who in the hell would that ever happen to? This thing was slimy. His eyeballs were falling out. His legs were all crooked. His skin was falling off. The thing came out of the sky like a meteor. It could have landed anywhere in America. It landed on John's sack. Anywhere in America, that thing could have landed in the whole world. But that bird had a satellite drone GPS and dropped it right there, bro. What are the odds?
Oh,
the odds are 0, Pat. And it could have came from
obviously it's not 0 because it happened.
But bro, Pat, where there was no birds, it was dead. So it didn't just jump out of a tree. That thing was dead. And you should have seen it. Its eyeballs. It was like one eye looking over here, one eye looking over here. That thing Pat, this
So when you
thing
saw
looked
it, did
like
you
it
freak
had a
out?
disease. How long was it in this pelican's mouth?
Did you freak out when you saw it?
I was a little bit relieved because the mystery was solved, because I knew I wasn't dreaming that something heavy hit me, but I couldn't see it anywhere. All right. So that's the first story is that thing, I don't know. That thing came out of nowhere. It hit me. That wouldn't happen to anybody else. What do frog legs taste like? Chicken strips? Is that what they taste like?
Yeah, I've had it. It's it's a slimy piece of chicken. I never liked it.
Yeah.
That's what it tastes like.
Dude, have you ever had gator bites down in Florida or anything? Yeah, I've had gator bites. That kind
No,
of
I
taste,
never had gator. I never had gator.
tastes like
I go to.
chicken.
I'm supposed to be in Florida right now, but life happened.
Yeah. You're not going to the Masters again this year, are you?
No, you know what? I'm sitting at the bar last night. And my brother's like, $1,500. We can get in on Sunday. So, like, I can't do this again.
Yeah, don't start thinking about it or you'll do it.
I am. I'm thinking about it right now. It's just coming up again. I'm like, ooh, maybe I'll go again.
All right, Pat. Here's the next story.
Yeah.
You do a lot of flying and you're a business traveler, so I'm sure you travel light. You know how to get in and out of everything and maneuver your way around an airport. Like, I know you know what you're doing. You grew up, your front door was Midway's front door. Like, you know all of it.
Yep.
I had an issue in Palm Beach. And I don't understand it. Okay. So I go through and we got the stroller. You know, you got to do the whole fold up the stroller because they got to make sure that thing doesn't have something in it, whatever you got to do. All right. When I'm leaving from Florida back to Chicago, I'm going from 80 degrees to 30 degrees. So I'm wearing to the airport jeans, a t-shirt, and a sweatshirt because that's what I'm going to need to leave Midway because I'm not bringing a coat to Florida. So you get dropped off right at the door at Midway, but leaving, I got to go stand around out there and wait for a ride and all that. So I'm wearing jeans and a hoodie or whatever. And then on the plane, you ball that up and use it as a pillow.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Okay. Makes perfect
Okay.
sense. But
Yes.
when we're doing that, Andrew drops us off at the airport. There's all these bags. I'm sweating because I got a kid that doesn't want to do anything. And I have all these bags and everything. I'm dripping in sweat. We go in there. We go through security. And you know, you do the thing where you do this at the thing.
Oh,
And
no. No, I see where this is going.
So you do this in that little tube where they're like,
Yeah.
whatever they check for, I don't know. So we rush in there. I get everything in there. And then I do the whole, like, put your arms above your head thing. And the guy standing there, usually they go, come on through or whatever. He doesn't say a word and he just points. And I'm like, he doesn't say nothing, but he just points. And I like keep walking to collect my stuff. And he like directs me off to the side. So now I know that I'm getting in trouble for something. So he doesn't even say anything to me, Pat, but he starts patting me down like more all over again. And I know I don't have nothing. I got a 3.5-year-old here. Like, bro, I'm not trying to cause trouble. I just want to go home. So he starts patting me down more. And then he looks over at another guy and he's like, yeah, can you help me over here? So now it's a scene because I'm the one everybody's looking at. So he's got two guys now and they're patting me down. Pat, before you know it, this dude's patting under my armpits. And he keeps patting under my armpits. And I say to him, I go, bro, I said, is there a problem? Like, did I trigger a sensor or something? Like, I don't know what. He didn't say a word to me. He's literally keeps doing this to my armpit. And I said, what's the deal? And he goes, well, you're giving off a really abnormally high thermal sensor in that area. And I got to check you. And I go, what do you mean? Yeah, Commander, it was. I go, what do you mean? And he's like, you're giving off an abnormally high thermal reading. And I looked at him and I said, bro, It's 85 degrees here, and I just came in this sweaty, humid airport drop-off area with this 3.5-year-old, 5 stupid suitcases, a damn stroller.
5 suitcases.
I couldn't even fold up and everything. I said, I'm sweating my ass off. That's all it is. I said, we're in Florida. I'm sweating my ass off. Do you see this kid I had to bring in here and all this other stuff? I'm sweating. And he's like, well, you're giving everybody sweats and you're giving off a high thermal reading. I said, bro, I'm skinny as can be. If you want me to take off my shirt, we could go in the back room or whatever, and we could do that. So he's telling me that I had off the chart pit sweat readings that alerted him to check in that area, bro. I told him, I said, it was 80 something. I'm going where it's 30 something. I got a sweater on. What do you want from me? So he told me that I had a high thermal reading and they had to check me. I don't understand.
Can I just give you one very simple piece of advice?
What's that?
TSA pre-check, John.
Yeah, I know.
$65 for, I think it's like 5 years.
Dude,
and you'll never go through that again.
When we travel with them, my parents are like, we'll see you guys later. I'm and they're sitting at the bar or whatever, and I'm behind 900 people that don't know how to travel. Yeah.
I have walked into airports with like 20 minutes before boarding, and we go into security, and everybody's, and the security line is like 800 people deep, and I'm just like, nope. I just go right through. TSA pre-check, man. It is worth every freaking penny. Dude, until everybody has it, and then it's gonna suck. But
yeah, it's gonna go the other way, where there's gonna be less people in the regular line because everybody wanted to do that. Like, yeah,
but with TSA, I like J Car's complaining about it, and I agree. The line sometimes is longer, but it still moves faster because you don't have to take your shoes off. You don't have to take anything out of your bag. You don't have to do the stupid thing where you're standing there like this. You don't have to do any of that stuff. You just go right through. It is so fast. But so, dude, the line could be longer, but it moves quicker.
This may be like elitist to say or something. Dude, I think they need to start pricing air travel to where everybody can't do it again. Because these people don't know how to act, Pat. People at airports, they don't know how to act. They all act and look borderline homeless. Like, these people should not be flying. How come I end up buying the people that have never flown before and their whole bag is stuff you can't travel with and they're totally unprepared and all their stuff falling out? Why am I never near people like you that just know how to be normal and get through and go? Why?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, I don't understand. It's like everybody should know what to expect. If you're 45 years old, you should know what to expect when you're flying. I don't know anybody that is of similar age that hasn't flown before, but yet they still like.
Pat, I'm not putting it up. I'm not putting it up, but look at Phil's last chat. I'm not putting it up though. That's the other thing too, you guys. How? Pat, I've yelled about this before. Whenever I'm going to Florida, all those girls that need a wheelchair to go on the plane in Chicago.
And it's a miracle they can walk as soon as they land.
Pat, I'm never going to let this go. In Midway, all of those middle-aged, morbidly obese women need a wheelchair to go on the plane. The second we land in Florida, they're totally healed and they hop off the plane and they run right to the beach. It'll never not piss me off that you're abusing the crippled system that way. It will always just drive me crazy. I need to be wheeled right to the front and we get to Florida. My legs are healed. Let me get to the beach. I don't take advantage of the system, Pat.
I hear you, John. I see it all the time.
Unbelievable. Oh, how about we do another call? Let's see what's cooking.
Hit it.
815, make it come alive. What's going on, buddy?
Not much. How about you, man?
Hey, I see you got a lot of stuff going on Twitter. I like what you do. That's you, right? You do all the stuff with the updates on recruits and all that. Yeah, good job on that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I've been trying to get the momentum on Twitter, so I got a bunch of guys that are following me in the 2025 and 2026 class, building those connections. So, yeah, it's been pretty fun. A lot of these kids are, good people and really go out of their way. So it's been fun.
Yeah, that's good. But it's just that's a good thing that it stood out to me. Like I noticed the graphics you put up and all that. Good job on that. What are your thoughts about spring, man? What are your big takeaways from what we've seen so far?
For one, the receiving group looks, especially the young guys, look insane. Especially Micah Gilbert, who looks like he can be an instant contributor on the offensive side of the ball this year. Cam Williams, I still think, is going to be the next, great Notre Dame receiver that you'll see end up in the NFL. But I think he might need a little bit more time. But Micah Gilbert is absolutely showing out. Christian Gray and Ben Morrison's absence due to the injury has been electrifying. Everything that we thought he was when he came in last year as a freshman. So I think that kind of makes me feel better about our cornerback group. We know what Jaden Mickey is, but we were just kind of waiting to see if Christian Gray would take that next step, and he absolutely has. So,
yeah,
I'm really excited.
Man, that's interesting though. But it's interesting to me because the two guys that I had written on my notes to single out on tonight's show, standing out to me, were Micah Gilbert on offense, getting all that attention in the wide receiver room. And then it was Christian Gray being that long and athletic and all over the place and all that. So I am right there with you because those are literally the two of the guys I had written down. So I'm right there with you.
Yeah, and I mean, I was concerned, like most of our fan base was, when Ben went down with the injury, because there is no timetable for return. It's just he's expected to return for the regular season, whatever that means.
Yeah,
I think Notre Dame purposely left that vague. So for whatever reason, maybe that's not the best of reasons because they don't know for sure. But with the way Christian Gray has been playing, and Jaden Mickey has been playing the last couple of years, I'm not as worried about it as some of our other fans were. So that's good to see. The question is behind them, what's going to be if, God forbid, one of those two go down with injury. It looks like Chance Tucker is going to be that next guy in line, but we'll see. But yeah, I mean, Micah Gilbert, he's making an argument for MVP of spring ball so far. I'm excited to see him in the spring game. But yeah, I mean, another thing is Riley Leonard. It was weird to me seeing him from footage we saw just a week ago, him in a boot on a little scooter, and not participating right after his tightrope surgery. And a week later, he's planting that foot and looking pretty comfortable throwing the football. So that's really good to see as well.
Dude, that was a pretty quick return. What do you make of that? Are they... Follow me here, man. Tell me if I've been known to overthink Notre Dame things. Tell me if I am. That quick return, is it as simple as this isn't that serious and it was a minor thing and he's cleared, so he's coming back to do what he could do? Or do you feel like there's any sense of Notre Dame's coaching staff wanting it to go a certain way and they're doing everything they can to make sure they keep that going? And having him out there and in the mix in any way is a way to kind of make sure that plan stays in the forefront. Like, I know they're not rushing him because the doctors wouldn't allow it. I was just a little surprised to see that quick of a turnaround. I really was.
Yeah, I mean, even me too. And, oddly enough, I have some buddies that I played high school ball with that ended up playing college ball in Central Illinois. So I have a buddy who played over at Rockford, and he was telling me that he had to get the same type of surgery, the tightrope on his leg, and he was telling me that that was pretty quick. But he said he did tell me something interesting that I thought was pretty interesting to find out. I guess the surgery that Riley had, because the guy he was explaining it to me, it actually makes your ankle or stronger than it ever was prior to the injury.
It's the Tommy John. Is it the Tommy John of leg
Yep.
surgeries? They always say those guys.
Yeah, basically.
Some of those guys say they're almost looking forward to getting their Tommy John out of the way because then it's kind of done and over with, and then you have like a rubber band rocket arm forever or something. I don't know.
Yeah, how my teammate kind of responded. He's like, it's basically like you have a bionic ankle.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay. So, because when the first thing came out where, breaking news, Riley Leonard is getting his second surgery, will most likely miss the remainder of spring camp. And, you know how our fan base is, John, because you deal with it almost on a daily basis. The instant reaction is, oh, crap. See, this is why we shouldn't have got Riley Leonard. Maybe we should do better looking at guys' injuries and medical stuff before getting them into, on campus. This is another wasted year and all the overreactions. And I was always kind of like, hey, let's wait and see how this plays out before we label this kid as injury prone, not going to last a full season. All right, let's pack it up and on to 2025. And now it seems like that was a huge overreaction from our fan base. And I feel a lot better.
I'm glad.
Riley Leonard, especially after talking to my teammate as well.
Man, I'm glad it was an overreaction.
You don't feel any pain.
You know?
You don't feel any pain at all after you get that surgery. It's completely, there is a chance of re-injuring it as with any injury, but Riley should be completely fine going through the rest of spring camp.
The irony in all this is that we're the ones who jump-started the injury. Like, it all just, it just comes full circle back to Notre Dame. When, the odds that we're the ones who jump-started that problem, then it becomes our problem, and then we're going to play his former coach week 1. Like, only Notre Dame can have all these circumstances lined up at once. It's the most Notre Dame-y thing ever. Let me ask you this. It's something that came up earlier, and I don't know if you were watching or not. Are you fully willing to buy into the wide receiver stuff? I'm really hearing people say this is the year they're really going to take a step forward to become a reliable unit. And how much are you buying in that before you actually see the results in games? How much are you willing to do that in your own heart and mind?
John, I'll tell you this. I was that guy the last couple of years. Tobias Merriweather, comes to mind. Lorenzo Styles comes to mind.
Yeah, those hurt. Those both hurt too.
I'm pumping the brakes.
Yeah.
I'm pumping the brakes this year because I'm not fooling myself.
Yeah. And listen, it's fine to be hopefully optimistic, but I'm not going to bank on this until I see it because it's just been not good enough for way too long. And it's just been one flame out after the next, and it doesn't all come together. I'm hopeful and optimistic. If you could get behind A&M on a couple deep shots in the deep Texas summer sunset, I'll buy in, and I'll be happy to come on here and go, man, I should have bought in the summer or spring or whatever.
But see, John, wouldn't you rather be pleasantly surprised than disappointed?
Yep.
That's how I'm looking at it. Is I'd rather be pleasantly surprised than going into it like I was last year, thinking, man, I'm going to buy in all this. And people are telling me Tobias Merriweather's the best receiver Notre Dame's had since sliced bread.
Yeah,
this guy's going to be a stud, and he doesn't end up doing anything.
Yeah, it was so frustrating looking at his physical gifts. It was so frustrating to see that not all come together when you just look at that body and that frame. Commander Luke's given me a hard time saying, if you have Riley Leonard who maybe has an injury issue or something, why don't you look into bringing another quarterback in after the spring or whatever? You can't, there's got to be a limit to this. You already have 4 guys. Yeah. You already have 4 quarterbacks here that everybody kind of sees some value in. You just can't go do another one. And then you have, I know it should matter, but it does matter. You have all the NIL money involved that you gave Leonard, who who else you going to find and what are you going to pay in? Tell me, I don't know what happened there. My screen blanked out. I'm really looking forward to Notre Dame being able to get back to their homegrown quarterbacks at some point. I just think it's going to be a much more stable growth path. If you find a guy you can hitch your wagons to, grow around them as a team for a few years, have the guys together. And I think that's just a more stable path for Notre Dame moving forward. Hopefully we could get into that routine after this year. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree. And I do think this is the best quarterback room Notre Dame's had in quite some time.
I agree. Dude, you have 4 guys that I genuinely find like interesting that I want to see more of. There's been a lot of years where I don't even want to see our starter play. Like not even the backup. There's a lot of years where I'm not even intrigued in the starter because I know even on their best day, it's not good enough.
No, dude, and you know what? Like, I don't know if you saw it. It was all over Twitter a couple weeks ago, but 247 Sports, they did like a ranking of the top quarterback rooms in the country. And they had Notre Dame at 4. And just to kind of give you some insight on the teams that they had ranked ahead of Notre Dame, they had the likes of Georgia, Texas, and Alabama. Think about that. Like, when has Notre Dame been in the company with teams like that, and Alabama and Georgia and anything? If that tells you anything about how other people look at our quarterback room right now. And me personally, this is the most confident I've been in a quarterback room top to bottom that I've ever been as a Notre Dame fan.
Yeah.
Ever.
I think I agree with that. I agree with that. I'm a lot older than you. And I think I agree with you on that.
Yep.
Just the fact that you have 4 guys that all have some upside, and I'm just not used to that. And you know what?
And think about
dude,
it,
it's going to get a lot more complicated too. They got things cooking for
Deuce Knight coming in.
Yeah, they got things cooking for 26 guys that everybody thinks a lot of, and you're going to have Deuce coming in there. And we haven't even mentioned CJ Carr yet. There's just a lot more opportunity for one of these guys to be the one we've been begging for forever and never have.
And you know what? Like, in past years, if we think about it, let's go back to, Ian Book, for instance. Ian Book was a good Notre Dame quarterback. He doesn't get a lot of, love from the fan base as I think he deserves. But think about the drop-off if he were to get hurt. The guy sitting behind him.
Yeah.
And then take that and think about, well, if Riley Leonard, knock on wood, goes down at any point during the season, you have a guy in Stephen Jelly that has started a game, has thrown for over 500 yards in limited action, has a 7-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. I understandably, and most of the time was garbage time, and against a depleted Oregon State, but still. And then behind him, you have a Kenny Minchie, who his comp out of high school was Patrick Mahomes. So let's not take that lightly. And then you've got CJ Carr, who was a top 5 quarterback in his class and was at one point a 5-star recruit.
Yeah, they're
when
doing.
Has Notre Dame ever had that?
Yeah, and it's just it's the most important individual position in all of sports, and you got to make sure that you have what you need there. And seeing Notre Dame get on that track gives me a lot of confidence. Can we flip to the defensive side, man? We fully expect this to be a really solid unit. Like they're going to be a good defense. Is there one or two little things that make you worried about them being really, really good, getting to the next level good? To me, I don't know. Are you going to get the pass rush you need in key moments? Like, are you going to be able to get to the quarterback enough? Like something like that? Like what might you be concerned about on that defense?
I think the young linebacking core is definitely a worry. Not because I don't think, or most of us don't think that they have the talent. You could argue this is the highest amount of talent in terms of a linebacking room as a whole that Notre Dame's had in quite some time. But it's so young. These guys haven't played a lot of college ball besides Kaiser. And then the defensive line. Obviously, you've got Howard Cross and Riley Mills, but who's going to be on the edge? Who's going to be that consistent guy? We were hoping Botello would be that last year. He never really came around.
Yeah.
Maybe this year he does. But it seems like with Botello, it's been that same thing, kind of like where Riley Mills was for a lot of his careers. We hear all this good stuff in practice, but where's that in the games? I need to see it.
Yeah.
So hopefully he has his Riley Mills breakout year this year, like Riley Mills did last year. But yeah, it's the youth. It's the youth movement on the defense that kind of concerns me. I think our back end is completely fine, is locked down. It's the D line on the edges and the middle of our defense that scares me.
Yeah, it's I think they're going to be solid, but I want to see if they could get that little bit of extra. I do like the fact that you have some veteran presence on each level of that defense, and then that gives me confidence that you could put some of the younger guys out there with them, and those guys could help get them lined up and make sure they're where they need to be. So I like the blend of like some older guys I can rely upon, and then some younger guys that I think are more athletic and longer and have a little bit more athleticism. I think that's a pretty good blend. So I expect that defense to be pretty darn good again, man.
Yep. I mean, and you know what? Like, I might catch some hate, or not some hate, but some heat for this take. But I don't know how you feel, John, but I personally think that we have the best corner, the best safety, and the best defensive tackle in college football on that defense.
Man,
I don't know how you feel about that.
Dude,
Pro Football Focus, they came out with their thing. And
here's how I feel about it.
Yeah, go.
Here's how I feel about this. I don't feel like Watts got the credit he should get for winning the award he won for like best defensive football player. Like, I just feel like that should be a bigger deal than what it was when he won it. Don't you? He should have got a lot more fanfare for that.
He won that. John, he wins that award that literally goes to the best defensive player in college football.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, all right, well, when we're ranking the safeties, good. Watson, put him at 6. He's not Caleb Downs. He's not some safety from Purdue that I've never heard of. Like,
and the
what
other
are these lists?
And the other thing is too, him not starting on defense originally, that makes him winning that even more impressive to me, because he wasn't even a defense player his whole career and all that. Being able to do what he did is really impressive. So I love it. And you know, man, even before you were alive, like, I know you're a younger dude, secondaries would ruin every single game we were ever in. It didn't matter how close we were. You could count on the secondary not turning around and seeing a ball thrown right by them. Like, that was all of my 20s were Notre Dame secondary not being good enough. And it's like, Zibikowski was fun. He used to hit people and all that. I get that, but it's like, this is a different thing, and they got it cooking. So I'm excited, man. This needs to be a good year.
I remember the Julian Love days. That wasn't too long ago, but that was like while I was still in high school. And I remember we had Julian Love. After Julian Love, that guy was getting torched. It didn't matter if it was an unranked receiver from Stanford. He was getting cooked every single game. And we saw it in that playoff game against Clemson.
And you know what else too, man? I gotta, you know what? I gotta say, really great coaching by Clemson. They knew the second that guy went out, we are targeting his replacement the entire rest of the game. They did the right thing. They did a good job, and we got torched, baby. Hey, are you going to the blue and gold
game?
You
notice how that game got worse and worse with every injury. If you remember, Julian Love goes down, then Khalid Kareem goes down.
Yeah.
Then Julian Okwara goes down, all within, I think, the same drive, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And then halftime came around, and you're looking, man, everybody that's the best player on this defense.
I don't know what happened. What happened?
I don't know. Did we lose him? I
Yeah,
remember that game. God,
the
Notre Dame was in that
entire
game until Julian Love got hurt.
the entire phone thing, it says no host connection.
Did your cell phone cut out?
No. I don't know what happened. That's weird. Something happened. I'm sorry, man. I did not mean to hang up on you. I'll see if I'll try again if it comes back. I'm sure if you're still listening to the show, I'm sorry I didn't try and hang up on you. Something happened. Dude, I wondered this too, Mark. He says, whatever happened to the Matthew McConaughey guy?
All right.
Remember
The Michigan,
that guy
the
from
Florida,
that guy from
Florida, Michigan fan.
And he was a Michigan fan, and he was giving me a
Yeah.
hard time, and he acted like he was mean, but then he kind of was playing it funny, like he was cool
Yeah,
for
he
a
was
while.
funny.
He ended up being cool, but he started out like being a jerk Michigan guy with an accent.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah,
dude.
you booted him from the chat. I remember that.
I did?
Yeah, I remember that. Because he called in and he said, he goes, "What, you said you kicked me out, but here I am, man." he cracked me up. Hey, there's some trolling going on in the chat about the quarterback and Notre Dame getting a new quarterback. Now that Riley Leonard's hurt, and of course, don't accept the narratives from the trolls. Everyone, the reason Notre Dame got Riley Leonard wasn't because Marcus Freeman thought that the roster as it was built wasn't good enough. He got Riley Leonard because he wanted to have 4 quarterbacks on the roster.
Yeah.
It's always about 4 quarterbacks. He expects that a guy is going to transfer. And if you have 3 quarterbacks on the roster and a guy transfers, then you only have 2 quarterbacks on the roster. And that's not good. So it's from Marcus Freeman's point of view, it's a better premise to start with 4 quarterbacks on the roster. So I'll never say that he won't get another transfer quarterback again, but I think it's now turning into more of a homegrown program as far as the quarterbacks are concerned.
Yeah, and I'm just going to have a lot more comfort going that path as long as it's the right guy.
Yeah.
Hitch your wagon to him, grow for a few years. That's what I need. Martinez, were you on old too? I'm trying to get it back up. The system, it wasn't my phone, but like the software system that logs it in crashed. I'll try and reboot it. We'll see what's up. I'm sorry, man. I didn't try and I'd never do you dirty like that, Martinez.
And the thing is, like, why Riley Leonard? Well, he was the hottest quarterback transfer in the country, just like Sam Hartman was last year. Now we swung and missed with him, but I mean, Ohio State offered him $2 million. It's not like oh, we're gonna get 4.
Yeah,
like why Riley? Why? Okay, if you're gonna bring a quarterback in, why are you gonna try to bring in Drew Pine like Missouri did? Don't you want to bring in somebody that is actually improving the room?
Right.
What a stupid idea.
But what does it do to bring in a guy just to bring in a guy, to have another guy when you already got guys?
You already got guys. Got guys. No, if you're going to bring someone in who you believe can change the football team. And that's what they believe with Riley Leonard. I don't know if I agree with that belief, but that's their decision. So I'm going to support them in it.
Yeah. But I do just think ultimately you want to settle on one of these younger guys, hitch a wagon to them. And then when the other guys come, have a competition, I just think that's a more stable path. All right. I don't know what's going on with this website. I'm trying to redo it. Is the eclipse messing with the phone lines? I saw some conspiracy theory when they're like, once the eclipse happens, there's all these signals that are being shot out in the atmosphere from something behind the dark clouds. I don't know. What am I supposed to wear shades and look up at the sun on Monday or what, Pat? What's the deal?
No. Just go about your day. It's going to get dark around 2:30 in the afternoon. That's
interesting.
It's just I don't understand. Like it's going through Carbondale. And there's supposed to be so many people in Carbondale right now that they're shutting everything down because it cannot support it. And I'm sitting there like, and it's going through Indianapolis too. And Indianapolis is going to shut down all the freeways during the eclipse because they're afraid people are going to stop their cars and get out and look.
It's just like a cloud went in front of the sun. What's the difference?
I mean, it's correct. It's a little bit, it's going to be much darker than that. It's going to be the sky is going to turn dark, but it is at the end of the day. It's like, come on, people, what the hell?
So what happens?
I don't get it.
How dark is it going to get?
Oh, it gets real. It's going to get real dark. Now, up by us, we get in our area, we'll get about 96 to 97% totality.
But
so
what I'm
it's not going to
saying
be
is,
as dark.
If you're golfing Monday afternoon at 2:00 and you hit your ball and this thing hits, or is it that dark that it's like night where you can't find your ball because it's like that dark? Is it dark, like night dark?
Yeah. I mean, the sun is blocked out. You can't see the sun at all. So the light's not coming through. It's going around it. There's still light in the sky, but it's gonna get dark for a few minutes. Yeah.
Oh man, dude. Yeah.
That's right. Like Roger Dodger's right. Like
it's gonna be me and Alex Jones are gonna go in the country and watch it together.
Yeah. But Roger Dodger's right. It really screws with the animals because it makes them think that it's nighttime.
But isn't it just for a few minutes?
Yeah, it lasts like 20 minutes. The whole totality of it is only for a couple minutes. But the sun's starting to darken, and then it's starting to go the other way, and when it opens up again, it lasts a long. I think it takes about a half hour.
Interesting for sure. You got anything else, Pat? We've gone almost 2 hours again tonight. My phone system's all messed up. Anything else to cover?
No, I'm just looking forward to the spring game. I hear you got some surprises for people. It's going to be one hell of a party. I think I'll be back out here, and if anyone's interested, on Friday, April 19th, I'll be at Country Roads in Walkerton, Indiana.
There we go.
Right before the spring game, we'll be at the spring game, and we'll have a good time. And then I think you and I will probably get more regular with this, as we come out of the spring, and then probably take some breaks during the summer, but then probably to ramp back up in July, right?
Yeah, that'll be it. And then I don't think you were on yet, but I mentioned Anders flying home for blue and gold now too. So he's going to come back.
Oh, is he? Cool.
Yeah,
cool.
he, and I just left there, and I don't want to put pressure on him with the new, his new son and everything he's got going on. And then he said, here's my flights. I'll be at Midway. Pick me up. Let's go. So now he'll be back.
What is your plan? What time are you planning to get there to set up?
Early in the morning. Early.
Is like you and Goolsby, are you guys planning this out? You're going to be at the same time?
Him and I are going to meet next week, I think, or the week after. He's coming through, and we're going to figure out exactly what the details are. So we'll get a plan together. But it should be fun, man. It's growing. Yes. We're growing. I just like knowing more people think we're fun and want to hang out with us for the day. That's the whole point of all this.
Yeah, for sure. It's fun to be a part of it. The chat is always the most entertaining thing. As D-Rock Irish just said, the guys just let it rip. And a lot of times I just come in here and I sit quietly and read what you guys say and just laugh my ass off. So,
I know. But it's hilarious, dude. It's really funny. The creativity some of these people come up with, the stuff they come up with is fantastic.
I know.
But everybody, it's like
Mark with glasses big towards me.
Pat, some of it I get mad because I'm like, why didn't I think of that? Because it's so creative. It's so funny. I'm like, damn, I should have thought of that. But anyways, thanks to everybody that called. Kent, it's good to see you in here. Everybody that called, everybody that donated, everybody in here for the chat. I love this show. I love this group. We have a good time, and we're gonna rip it up in a couple weeks in Old South Bend. Thanks everybody for being here. Really do appreciate it. Take care.